Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi, good morning. Happy Monday. It is July 8th, and it's been a busy weather day for our weather team, although we don't have any of that big rain here in San Antonio.
I stepped outside this morning and the clouds were moving in a little bit. There's a chances for rain tomorrow possibly, right, Sarah?
That's right, and that has nothing to do with Beryl. Hurricane Beryl is a Category 1 hurricane currently working its way through Houston and Galveston. They're getting the worst of the storm right now, but it is moving quickly to the north, and that characteristic eye is starting to disappear as it moves across the land. You'll notice that in San Antonio we are seeing some additional cloud cover, even some light rain showers for our eastern communities. But earlier today, Hurricane Beryl made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. It had wind gusts of up to 80 to 100 miles per hour right near Matagorda, and that is where our meteorologist Justin Horn has been spending the morning. He was there at landfall and is seeing the damage in Matagorda in the light of day.
This is the kind of damage we're seeing here in Matagorda. Lots of tree limbs down, signs down, damage to roofs. It is here in Matagorda where Hurricane Beryl came through last night. They basically took a direct hit here. The strongest of the winds, where we saw gusts anywhere from 80 to 90 miles per hour, occurred overnight. Take a listen to what we saw. It's just about 11:40 here in Matagorda, and just about 30 minutes ago, Beryl was upgraded to a hurricane, and now we're starting to see one of the heavier rain bands come through. Winds have definitely picked up. I think we're seeing tropical storm force winds pretty much sustained here in Matagorda. We've noticed some water starting to come over the road in spots. It's just past midnight, and we're starting to really feel the effects of Beryl as she's coming on shore. Take a look at the storm surge that's starting to come up over this road. Now, it's a low-lying road, but it's these kind of roads that can get very dangerous in a storm like this. Winds are going to continue to pick up as that eye wall is just about 30 miles offshore. It's about 1:15, and we're inside the storm chaser this go-round because if you look outside, it is blinding rain. This truly is the heaviest part of the storm. And I'm sitting here looking at radar, and that eye wall is just about to be here. Well, the eye wall's here. The eye itself is just about to be here. And it's going to be a close call as to whether or not that eye moves over us, but if it does, we should get a brief calming of the winds. It took longer than expected, but we are finally in the eye of Hurricane Beryl. In fact, skies are clearing somewhat up above us, and the winds have let up, the rain has let up, and we'll get a break in the action for at least a little bit. But what I want to show you here is back behind me, where you see all those cars gathered. That is where the storm surge has come up to, and it came up quickly. This is Beach Road, and the water is completely covering the road at this point. A pretty dangerous situation as that storm surge rose very quickly. We are in the town of Matagorda, and if you look back here over my shoulder, you probably can't see much. It's dark back there. Power is out to much of the town, we think. You're not seeing many lights, at least. And I'll turn your attention this way. You can see some of the floodwaters, whether it be from storm surge or heavy rain. A lot of the streets here are flooded. You can see that yield sign too underwater. And we noticed a few houses perhaps taking on a little bit of water. So that is the latest from here in Matagorda. And we think we should see a lot of improvement as Beryl starts to move north by sunrise. And we're still seeing some strong gusty winds on the south side of the storm here in Matagorda. It's going to take until this afternoon for winds to really die down here in town, and it will probably take until tomorrow for folks here to really assess the damage from Beryl. Reporting in Matagorda, Justin Horn, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you so much, Justin. Glad he was safe. Now, as we look at Beryl right now, again, it has moved inland. The eye kind of right over the Katy and Sugar Land area right now, with the heaviest of the rain falling in areas like Houston. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of that rainfall that has fallen in the Houston area. Impressive rainfall totals. You can see estimates of about 8 inches near Houston, near Lake Jackson, estimates of 10 inches of rain, near Galveston about 6. So they're dealing with some flooding issues today. Let's go ahead and take a look closer to San Antonio. I'm going to turn on the radar closer to San Antonio, and what you can notice is that we are starting to see just a few very light rain showers. That's all we're going to see from Beryl, the increasing cloud cover and just a few sprinkles like near New Braunfels and down near Yorktown. It is fairly gusty out near Hallettsville. They've seen wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour. It's 80 in San Antonio. Winds are from the north at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Again, that's the only major impact from Beryl that we're going to see today is a few gusts. Otherwise, these clouds will start to clear and it will be a warm day. Molds are high past 1700. Here's a look at your forecast for the day. Skies will gradually clear. It should be mostly sunny in the afternoon and a high of 95. Now, no major rain from Beryl today for us, but we do have the potential for a few showers and storms tomorrow in the afternoon. I'm going to have a look at tomorrow's rainfall forecast coming up in a bit. But for now, let's go ahead and check in with RJ. RJ, how are the roads looking?
Yeah, Sarah, things looking great out there if you're about to step outside right now. And again, just got to give credit to my guy, the man, the myth, the legend. I call him Justin Horn, doing some great work out there with our photojournalist, Matt Craig. And hopefully they get home safe. And hopefully if you have some folks around that area, check in on them. I know we have some good friends that live in Houston, going to be checking with them throughout the day. As we take a look at our traffic here, 281 at the Quarry, traffic moving pretty good. Both directions right there near Bassey Road. The only thing that we're seeing at the moment is going to be a stalled vehicle on the southeast side of town. So this is going to be at 37 at Fair Avenue as we continue to make our way through our TransGuide traffic cameras. Here we go. 37 southbound right there, Fair Avenue, a little bit southeast of the Alamo Dome and the east side of town. And you see that traffic is, for the most part, moving pretty good through that area. So KSAT reporting this a little while ago, something that we'll continue to keep an eye on, but doesn't seem to be anything serious out there for our drivers on the southeast side of town. Everything else across the city is looking really good right now. Again, I think a byproduct of some of the anticipated rain that we were going to get was that there was no construction projects early this morning. I anticipate that those crews will be back out on the streets tomorrow morning. So again, for the most part, everything looking good out there if you're about to step outside. Stephanie, Patty, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, RJ.
Here's today's 9 at 9. Hurricane Beryl made landfall early this morning as a Category 1 hurricane near Matagorda Bay. Storm surge, damaging winds, and flash flooding are all threats for part of the Texas coast this morning. Rip currents will also cause dangerous beach conditions through tomorrow across much of the Gulf Coast.
Boeing has reportedly agreed to a deal with the Justice Department. That includes a guilty plea for allegedly misleading the FAA during the evaluation of its 737 MAX aircraft. As part of this agreement, the company will pay a $244 million criminal fine and spend an additional $455 million over the next 3 years to improve its safety and compliance programs.
Heads of state from around the world are arriving in Washington, D.C. today. It's hosting the NATO summit for the first time in 25 years. The summit marks the 75th anniversary of the military alliance that began after World War II. The NATO Secretary General meeting with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin today. The summit itself starts tomorrow.
While the euro's drop after France's election caused some Asian stocks to stumble on the market, the U.S. rose to more records, boosted by the latest jobs report Friday. The S&P climbed 0.5% Friday, with the Dow Jones rising 0.2%, and the Nasdaq added 0.9%.
Target announced it will no longer accept checks from customers beginning next Monday, July 15th. The retailer's decision is not too surprising. The Federal Reserve has noticed a steady decrease in the amount of personal checks written over the past few years. Target says it will accept other forms of payment, such as credit and debit cards, digital wallets, and, of course, cash.
A Hollywood studio shakeup. Paramount Global agrees to an $8 billion deal to merge with Skydance Media. This merger not only includes Paramount Studios, but also includes television network CBS and cable channels Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, and MTV. Skydance says they plan to improve and reinvigorate Paramount's marquee brand, including new investments in technology for streaming services, Paramount Plus, and Pluto.
Tesla is gearing up for a big update. The electric car maker's latest software version adds YouTube Music and Amazon Music for premium users. The update also introduces weather reports, air quality index, and new parental controls. Public release is expected within 1 to 2 weeks.
YouTube has updated its eraser tool. Creators can now delete music from videos without affecting other audio, like conversations. YouTube says the tool will be available in the coming weeks.
The Apple Watch is getting a makeover. The upcoming Apple Watch Series 10 and Ultra 3 will feature larger screens, thinner designs, and faster performance. The changes are reportedly expected to be announced in the fall, marking 10 years since Tim Cook revealed the first Apple Watch, and that's today's 9 at 9. Well, time now is 9:08, and we're at about 80 degrees coming up on GMSA at 9.
Hurricane Beryl forced a lot of closures and changes in coastal cities as they prepared for the storm, but one couple didn't let that stop them from getting married. We'll share their story when we come back. Hey there, welcome back. It is Monday. Look at that beautiful clouds out there. There's a lot of cover, but it is 80 degrees out there, Steph.
Still warming up.
And there's some sun shining through those clouds as well. Those clouds courtesy of Hurricane Beryl, which is impacting the Houston and the Galveston area right now in the biggest way. I know I got friends and family out there. They've been sending me pictures. They've had gusts up to 90 miles per hour, lots of storm surge, lots of rain. I know we need the rain here in San Antonio, but we we don't want what they're dealing with there. And we do have an opportunity for rain tomorrow apart from Beryl. So let's go ahead and talk about the forecast. First, I want to start with Hurricane Beryl. The latest update shows that, yes, it is still a hurricane with winds of 75 miles per hour. Once those winds get up to 74 miles per hour, that means it's a hurricane. It's upgraded from a tropical storm to a hurricane. Now, as we're looking a little bit closer here, you can see that that eye is starting to collapse in on itself just a little bit, but it's still a Category 1 hurricane. It is moving to the north at a clip at about 12 miles per hour, but some of these areas in Houston and Galveston getting a ton of rain and a ton of wind. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of that heaviest of the rain right now. We'll take a look at rainfall rates first. I want to show you that the rain is coming down at about, anywhere you see these purple colors, that is rainfall coming down at about 5 to 7 inches an hour, and it's going to stay that rainy over Houston for at least the next hour. So that's an additional 5 to 7 inches of rain in those areas. And we can look at rainfall itself in the last 24 hours in these areas, and we've seen about already 7 inches of rain. So we're looking at potentially 10 to 12 inches of rainfall in some of these areas in Houston. And again, as we zoom out, look a little bit closer to San Antonio, not much for us at all as a result of Beryl. We do have some showers, some very light rain showers falling from areas near to Seguin, Stockdale, Floresville, and just some sprinkles over San Antonio in places. It's pretty gusty in Hallettsville. I've seen a few gusts of up to about 50 miles per hour. Right now, we're looking at wind gusts near Hallettsville at about 40 miles per hour. But take a look at these wind gusts in Houston. 84 mile per hour wind gusts in Houston right now. That's Houston Hobby. So they are dealing with very gusty winds. Here in San Antonio, a few wind gusts of up to 25, 30 miles per hour for us, but it's going to stay mainly a quiet day for us. Take a look at the futurecast. As Beryl becomes a tropical storm later on today, it'll be bringing a lot of rain to College Station, Bryan. By tonight, it'll be up in Texarkana, Shreveport, and Tyler, bringing a ton of rain in those areas as well. And then eventually it'll dissipate by the time it moves to Little Rock. But I mentioned, even though we're not going to see any rain from Beryl today, we do have the potential for a few showers and storms tomorrow. Here's a look at your futurecast. By tomorrow afternoon, there will be a few showers and storms popping up in the hill country. And then by about the evening commute, that'll be moving over San Antonio. Remember Saturday. Saturday, many locations saw rainfall, quick downpours during the afternoon. That's kind of what we can expect on tomorrow afternoon. Not everybody's seeing rain, but some of those will. We'll call it about 40% coverage. So we still have the potential for rainfall tomorrow for us at 40%. In the Week ahead, only a few isolated showers possible the remainder of the week. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. By noon, we're going to be at 89 degrees, and we'll be mostly sunny in the afternoon. As Beryl moves north, our skies are going to clear. 95 for the high, so it is going to be warm and breezy. We'll have northeast winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour, and then later on tonight, it should feel pretty nice outside, 86 and mostly clear at 9 p.m. High temperatures are going to vary differently depending on where you live. The farther east you are, highs will be in the upper 80s. Around San Antonio, mid-90s, and then the triple digits for those farther west. Del Rio, 103, 101, Eagle Pass, 102, Laredo. In your 7-day forecast, again, a good chance for some rain tomorrow in the afternoon. And then in the week ahead, we'll only be looking at a few isolated showers, highs in the mid-90s. At least I don't see any triple digits on there. And in a cruel act of nature, the areas that are getting a ton of rain right now, Houston, Galveston, up to the east, those are the areas that are not dealing with drought. I'm going to show that contrast a little bit clearer, how we really needed the rain. So it was a little disheartening over the last couple of days when we were watching as Beryl continued to move to the east. That's the tropics.
What do? It's Mother Nature.
That's the tropics, baby.
All right, well, we'll keep watching after that. Thank you,
All right.
Sarah. Well, a lot of people visiting the Texas beaches this weekend had to change or cancel their plans because of Hurricane Beryl.
That included a couple who was actually planning on getting married today, but instead they had an impromptu wedding on Saturday.
So while tracking Beryl, meteorologist Justin Horn came across the wedding and got to speak with the bride, the groom, and their family.
At first glance, you'd never know this ceremony was thrown together in a matter of hours. But an unwanted guest who didn't RSVP forced this couple and their families, some who traveled all the way from Colorado, to pivot. It was supposed to be a weekend of fun followed by a Monday wedding. Then, on Friday, their venue canceled. Carolyn is the bride's mom.
I was pretty upset because we booked in advance. And so then we went and booked a clubhouse at the RV park yesterday, and they said it would be great. And at 10:30 this morning, they said they decided to use that as a safe haven for people and that we could no longer have it.
Another setback, so the family decided to just handle it themselves.
And we called and the beach is open. We're like, yes, okay, we don't have to try again.
They found an empty spot, and the pastor officiating found some sandals.
And commit to you only.
The ceremony went on as though it was planned this way all along, with the rings, the vows, and the pictures.
Ceremony was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, especially that's something one of my dreams was to be married on the beach, so it was a dream to come true, so.
It worked out, right?
Congratulations.
But in the end, Ozzie and Kinsey wouldn't have cared where it happened, as long as it did happen. And if you're curious, they're also starting their honeymoon early, thanks to Beryl.
You guys going to hang around, or you're going to get out before the hurricane hits?
Probably get out.
Yeah,
Probably get out.
Justin Horn, KSAT 12 News.
Well, congrats to Ozzie and Kinsey. I'm glad that they were able to get married, and it's kind of romantic that they just, they just made it work out.
Yeah, and the pictures must be beautiful because it was still clear out there at that time.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason. You never know. Yeah. Time now 9:19 and 81 degrees for now.
Well, one shark injured 4 different people on South Padre Island on the 4th of July, and now we're hearing from one of those victims, how the victim managed to prevent the injury from being much worse.
Well, welcome back. It is 9:22. Well, the latest on the rush of shark attacks over the holiday weekend, including multiple people attacked by the same shark here in Texas.
And we're hearing from one of those victims this morning as ABC's Trevor Ault reports this rare occurrence is happening in more than one region.
This morning, a series of shark attacks over the 4th of July holiday have left wildlife officials on alert across the country.
First instinct was to just yank my foot up, and I didn't look or anything. I just took off.
At Florida's New Smyrna Beach, Connor Baker says he was playing football in knee-deep water on the 4th of July when a shark bit his foot.
All of a sudden, I felt like my foot was just being stabbed on both sides, bottom and top.
Baker rushed to the hospital, the bite tearing 4 of his ligaments.
You always hear people get bit by a shark, and you're like, that'll never be me. It's pretty crazy, and then it happened.
The next day at the same beach, officials say a shark bit a second man floating in an inner tube, and he also suffered non-life-threatening injuries. And on South Padre Island in South Texas, officials say a single shark injured 4 different people 4th of July morning, capturing this footage of a shark thrashing around in the area. Rescuers dragging Tabitha Sullivan out of the water, who told NBC she couldn't believe what happened.
I just thought it was a big fish, so I went to kind of kick it away. And at that point, I think it's when it bit me. And had I not pulled my legs up, probably would have got my torso or something else.
Sullivan's daughter says her mom is in stable condition and her father was injured too while fighting off the shark.
That shark stayed right there and just circled.
Shark bites in some locations have been on the rise. Last year, there were 36 confirmed shark attack bites in the U.S. And so far this year, there have already been at least 15. But experts stress these kinds of dangerous attacks are still extremely uncommon.
In general, shark bites are very rare. But to have multiple shark bites within close proximity and time to one another is pretty much unheard of.
And this is not just happening in the south. Up here in the northeast, there's been several shark sightings, including some beaches on Cape Cod that have shut down because of multiple great white shark sightings. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
And changing gears here, if you have any gently used medical mobility items like wheelchairs that you no longer need, you might consider donating them to Project Men. They're going to be holding a community drive this weekend at Wonderland of the Americas that is outside Hobby Lobby. So some of the items that they're looking for are wheelchairs, rollator walkers, tub transfer beaches, power wheelchairs, and home hospital beds. So if you have any of these items that you no longer need, you can drop them off Saturday. This is between the hours of 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. So for more information, you can head over to our website at ksat.com.
Well, as many of us head back to the office today after the 4th of July weekend, it is good to ask yourself, how am I feeling? That is because there has been a surge in COVID-19 cases and other respiratory viruses. The gatherings this past holiday weekend might have been a spreader event. That's including COVID-19 and the flu. Last week, local medical experts were reporting a spike in COVID-19 related cases. Around 100 were tracked by University Health, and those are just the people that showed up to the hospital to be tested. A lot more were not tracked. Now, the summer COVID trend could continue this week after the group gatherings. Doctors say it is not just COVID that's out there this summer.
COVID by far is out there the most. There's also rhinovirus, which we know classically causes the common cold. There are some cases still of flu, lower numbers, because that way you'll know if you need to kind of isolate yourself so you're not exposing other people that could be at risk for more severe disease.
And I know what you're thinking. You're healthy and it's just COVID. What's the big deal? Doctors say consider others who have a weak immune system, maybe have lung disease or are elderly. So isolate yourself and wear a mask. According to the U.S. Center for Disease Control data, last year more people died from COVID complications than from the flu. Now, the signs are very similar to other respiratory illnesses: fatigue, congestion, or cough or runny nose, but a loss of taste and mental fatigue are still very prominent with COVID.
Well, the time now is 9:27. It's 81 degrees for now. There's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Including the resources the Red Cross wants every Texan to know about, what could help them during the times of severe weather or disaster.
Plus, as for summer league action is underway, RJ is going to talk about those games as well as the moves the team has made so far.
Well, good morning from Galveston Island, where we're still waiting for the sun to come up as the island is getting pounded with the outer bands of Hurricane Beryl. Hurricane force winds and heavy rain at this moment. We're posted up at the Galveston Island Convention Center, which is at the seawall on 57th Street, where we're somewhat protected by a strong portico and our live truck blocking some of the winds. But if I step out into the elements, you can really get the sense of Mother Nature's force. This is the worst of the conditions that we have seen all night long, and we've been out here since the middle of the night.
And that was our sister station, KPRC. Here's a look at Hurricane Beryl right now, and you can see that it's quickly moving to the north. So I have friends and family in the Galveston area, and they are through the worst of it, but they're still dealing with that storm surge. Meanwhile, the heaviest of the winds right now happening right near Houston as that eye wall is just moving north through Houston. Of course, here in San Antonio, it is quiet. We really are only seeing increased cloud cover in some places. We're not going to see any rain from Hurricane Beryl. It's 80 degrees outside in San Antonio right now, 81 in New Braunfels. Here's a look at those winds, though. The winds are pretty breezy from the northwest at about 10-15 miles per hour. We're seeing a few gusts of up to 25-30 miles per hour. It's 77 in Bernie. In your pollen count today, molds are high. They're past 1,700. I know a lot of us wanted some rain. We're not going to get any today. We'll be looking at clearing skies, and it should be in the mid-90s. No rain today, but there is the potential for rain tomorrow in the afternoon, kind of a lot like what we got on Saturday. So I'll detail that a little bit more in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, Hurricane Beryl is the first hurricane to make landfall in the U.S. this Atlantic hurricane season, and coastal Bend communities took no chances bracing for that storm.
They're also preparing for other storms since this is supposed to be a very busy hurricane season. CNN's Lee Waldman is in Port Lavaca and shows us the conditions there.
Will be a deadly storm for people who are directly in that path.
A stern warning coming from Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick to people along the Texas coast. Do not underestimate Hurricane Beryl. Beryl made landfall in Texas early Monday morning after strengthening to a Category 1 hurricane.
We've had hours and hours and hours of extremely high winds, high water. It is a significant storm.
Damaging winds knocked out power to thousands as it approached the Texas coastline. Some in low-lying areas evacuated ahead of the storm. Others boarded up and hunkered down. Memories of the damage Hurricane Harvey caused 7 years ago still on their minds.
The building withstood Harvey. However, the winds were so powerful that water went through the soffit vent.
Terry Brader plans to leave the plywood up on his business until the Atlantic hurricane season is done in November.
You don't leave any rock unturned in preparation, that's for sure. After Harvey, you just every hurricane approaching you is huge. As
Beryl marches through Texas, it will continue to bring heavy rains and dangerously high winds to those along its path. In Port Lavaca, Texas, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Well, efforts to help those impacted directly by Beryl began this past weekend. The American Red Cross is expecting to spend nearly $2 million helping Texans before, during, and after the storm. And a lot of that help is coming from local resources. They are bringing in more than 300 volunteers from across the country to help communities with anything they need. Daniel Martinez, the executive director of the American Red Cross Central and South Texas chapter, came by the station yesterday to speak with us, and he wants Texans to know about the Red Cross app to help those dealing with storms like Hurricane Beryl. He says it is a valuable tool that even works when cell service does not.
Not only does it show the resources in terms of shelters, but it also has a ton of resources in terms of like, hey, what if your pet is experiencing dehydration, pet CPR? What are the types of things if you're going to stay in place? We have stay kits and we have go kits, right? If you're planning on leaving, what are those things that sometimes we just need that reminder, oh, my medical documents, my IDs, do I have a checklist of things?
Well, Red Cross shelters are open in Houston, Galveston, Corpus Christi, in and around the coastal Bend, and as far west as Laredo. So you can find a running list of shelters on our website at KSAT.com.
All right, well, the Spurs have been busy this offseason. San Antonio made a trade over the weekend, and another one added potential trades.
That's right. RJ is back to break down all of these Spurs moves.
All right, guys. Yes, taking our barrel break here to talk about the San Antonio Spurs. And you know what? Going into this offseason, guys, I said 3 things needed to happen this offseason for the Spurs. All right. Number 1, get Wemby help. Okay. Number 2, get Wemby help. Number 3, look at options 1 and 2. Yes, basically get Wemby all the help he needs. And these moves here over the weekend going to help solidify what we're looking at here. So let's look at the Spurs timeline of moves here. Of course, Chris Paul. Of course, last weekend he agreed to a 1-year deal deal, and he officially signed over the weekend. But that's not the only things we saw here, because oddly on Saturday, the Spurs traded Devontae Graham. So a lot of people were like, what are these Spurs up to? Well, they sent Devontae Graham to Charlotte in order to free up some cap space. And then later on Saturday night, we did learn that the Spurs acquired veteran forward Harrison Barnes from Sacramento in a 3-team deal that actually sent former Spur DeMar DeRozan back to Sacramento. And the Spurs also got a 2031 first-round pick out of this deal. Actually, it's a pick swap. So here's what we got money-wise. All right, CP3 is going to take up $11 million in cap space. Harrison Barnes, the Spurs are bringing him in. That's going to be $20 million in cap space. But we're going to need more roster moves, because right now the Spurs currently do not have enough money to pay both those players. Of course, they have officially signed Chris Paul, still waiting on the deal to get done with Harrison Barnes, which means that we may see some moves. In fact, this morning they have actually let go of some of the rights for Chetty Osman, Dominic Barlow. We could also see some trades when it comes to Blake Wesley and Malachi Branham. So if you got some Wesley jerseys, some Branham jerseys, I don't know what to tell you. They may not be on the team coming in this upcoming season. But real quick, back to CP3, because Chris Paul, love this addition here for the team. He spent last season with the Golden State Warriors. He played in 58 games, averaged 9.2 points, about 7 assists per game, which actually would have been the team lead on the Spurs, and about 4 rebounds, 1.2 steals in 26 minutes. And he was playing behind a guy named Steph Curry the entire time. So yes, that's Steph Curry. This is a 19-year veteran who's made every team better, and he arrives in San Antonio with 11 All-NBA and 9 All-Defensive Team selections, 12-time All-Star, and he's good friends with Tim Duncan. So that's awesome. Maybe we might get to see Timmy around the Spurs practice facility or the games just a little bit more. You know, Timmy doesn't really go out in public too much. But yeah, big move there. I say A+ so far on the Spurs offseason moves. All right, now to Summer League, because that has actually started up over the weekend, and it has not been great. Basically, Stephon Castle, this is going to be the big part. We're just going to need to develop him. He's going to be under Chris Paul's wing. He did score 12 points in his debut, had 6 rebounds and 3 assists, but nothing else has been working for the Spurs. Now, the Summer Spurs will actually play China tomorrow in the California Classic. And yeah, I know that obviously these international teams, bless you, Stephanie, getting ready for the Olympics. Guys, did you see the viral video of Wemby juggling? I don't know if you saw this, but he was juggling, for like, he was doing like a pregame thing for France. It is impressive to watch anything that this guy does. Like, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I would suggest if you see it on social media, viral video, he was like juggling, and he was doing a thing where he was moving it. Yeah, that's just basically a way to not talk about the Summer Spurs.
Oh, okay. I was like, let me look at it.
It worked. You distracted us.
Yeah, they wrap things up. Yeah, just watch Wemby. Wemby, Team France. I want to see Victor Wembanyama right now.
And we're looking ahead.
Yes, we are. Absolutely. Yeah. CP3, Harrison Barnes, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, Victor Wembanyama. I think this is a playoff team now, guys. I'm really excited looking ahead to
it's looking good out there
this year.
Like Justin said, hashtag shock the world.
Hashtag shock the world if he's listening right now. Yeah, shout out to Justin Horn.
He might be taking a nap now.
Maybe he is. He deserves it. Yeah, he deserves it for sure.
Thanks, RJ.
Thanks, guys.
Time now 9:39 and 81 degrees for now. You are watching GMSA at 9.
This year's Wimbledon tournament is heading into the quarterfinals. And about 6 decades ago, there was a tennis player from right here, San Antonio, that made the trip to London and won the Gentleman's Single Trophy. When we come back, Nick Mantas introduces us to Chuck McKinley and tells us how he's impacted tennis in our area.
While still a junior at Trinity University, Chuck McKinley won Wimbledon without losing a set. His former Trinity teammates, brothers Butch and John Newman, shared what it was like to see their classmate win a Grand Slam title.
To have someone like that on the team is just incredible. He put Trinity University tennis and the whole university on the map when he won Wimbledon in 1963 without the loss of a set.
I was not even a really good player, and he treated me like I was just his teammate and practice partner, and you got better just being around the guy.
So after McKinley wins in 1963, support from members of the private sector like John McFarland continued to fund the growth of tennis here in San Antonio, which led to generational success of players here in the Alamo City.
Dad started it all. 68, the NCAA's national championship takes place at Trinity. The planning for McFarland Tennis Center starts in 1970, it opens in 1974. The McFarland Foundation is set up by Mr. Mr. McFarland and my dad, John Braubach, and that continues today.
No telling what would happen if he had not have been here. We would have been an okay team, but not one of the elite teams in the world. And we're grateful for him and his life and what he represented as far as tennis and as a human being.
Nick Mantis, KSAT 12 Sports.
Taking a live look outside, 81 degrees, a little cloudy out there, but already starting to warm up.
Yeah, we've got plenty of sun there too. I know that some locations are getting sprinkles around San Antonio, but that's all we're going to get here today.
Just a little spit.
Barrel, just some sprinkles.
But in Barrel, it hit about 4 a.m. It knocked out power to 1.5 million homes and businesses, and one person was killed. That's the update we got.
Unfortunately, and a lot of areas in Houston right now still dealing with the heavy rains, the gusty winds, and the storm surge. Take a look at this video of some friends and family out in the Galveston area. They're at Hitchcock, Texas, which is just before you get to Galveston Island. You can see the storm surge there really coming up into their yard and into their driveway. Now, thankfully, the house is on stilts, but still, that messes with the garage. That messes with a lot of people's cars and things like that. That's the power of storm surge, as pretty much hurricanes pick up the ocean and dump it onto shore. And here's a look at that hurricane right now. You can see Category 1 Hurricane Beryl. It is starting to weaken, but it is still a hurricane. As it moves farther on shore, it is going to become a tropical storm by the time it impacts areas like College Station and just to the east of College Station. You can see it's pretty much dry here in San Antonio. I'll show you those rain closer to San Antonio in just a bit. But for now, I want to show you just how heavy that rain is falling from the Woodlands down to Houston, Pasadena. And of course, we've got some gusty winds out there as well. They've already seen quite a bit of rainfall, and additional 3-4 inches of rain is continuing. So in some spots, there's going to be 10 plus inches of rain for the Houston Galveston area. Wind gusts of up to 82 miles per hour out there. I do want to mention that for areas like Hallettsville, Cuero, in our viewing area, still seeing some gusty winds. Hallettsville earlier saw a wind gust of up to 52 miles per hour. And even here in San Antonio, it's breezy, but nothing like what they're dealing with closer to Beryl. Here's a look at the satellite showing all the cloud cover and the swirling nature of Beryl. We've been able to see a little bit of clouds here in San Antonio because of that, and yeah, some sprinkles too, but that's it. So a few sprinkles possible through about noon. Then in the afternoon, we'll be looking at gradually clearing skies, 95 for the high. Northeast winds will be breezy at times, 10 to 15 miles per hour, and then a mild evening with temperatures falling into the 80s. It's going to be cooler off to the east with highs in the 80s, but right around 95 in San Antonio, and hot out to the west near Del Rio, 103 degrees. Here's a look at Beryl's track and the rainfall. It's going to become a tropical storm as it impacts areas closer to College Station later on today, closer to lunch. Then by this evening, 7 p.m., it'll be near the Tyler area, and overnight tonight, falling apart across Texarkana. But take a look at some of these rainfall estimates in areas like Tyler, Texas, expecting 7 to 10 inches of rain. In parts just north of the Woodlands, 7 inches of rain, and this is additional to what they have already seen. Flooding rains for areas in East Texas, and guess what? They're the ones who need the rain the least. Take a look at the drought monitor here. No drought across East Texas, but then here for us in San Antonio and out toward Del Rio, we are some of the folks that are dealing with the worst drought, and we're not going to see anything from Beryl other than a few sprinkles here and there. Now, it's not all bad news, because tomorrow I do expect there to be a few showers and storms across the hill country in the early afternoon, and then by tomorrow during the evening commute, a few pop-up downpours around San Antonio. Remember on Saturday how some of us got some rain? I think that's going to be the case again tomorrow. So some folks getting some good rain, others missing out entirely. Coverage will be about 40%. So some will miss out, others will get some good rain. Other than that, there's only an isolated shower or two in the forecast for the remainder of the week, 20 to 30% Wednesday through Friday. High temperatures will be in the mid 90s. At least we won't be in the triple digits. But again, it is one of those things where it was looking like last week Beryl might have brought us some rain, But by Friday and especially over the weekend, it was clearly evident that we were going to miss out on the rainfall here in San Antonio.
At least we got a little bit on Saturday, I guess.
Yeah, and again, tomorrow we have the opportunity.
Hopefully those numbers increase for the week. Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Time now is 9:49 and 81 degrees for now.
All right, taking a live look outside, we're checking in with our friends over there at the zoo. The cranes. I was told there was cranes. Do you see any cranes? It is always.
Oh yeah, way back by where our
yes,
time
I
is.
see it. Well, if you go out there today, make sure you take a picture with them. Send them to us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Did you know Peso Pluma is coming to the Frostbank Center on the 27th, and KSAT is your station to win tickets to the show. You have 1 week left to enter our KSAT Insider Contest. One lucky winner will find 4 tickets to the show. The giveaway ends next Monday, so don't miss your chance to see Peso Pluma live for free.
Well, a young boy in New Orleans is well on his way to TikTok fame.
In fact, he could very well end up being the world's next great food critic.
ABC's Danny New introduces us to 6-year-old Reese Jackson.
Where you got these turkey necks from? They're so good.
Unlike many 6-year-olds, Reese Jackson prefers food a little more complex than, say, mac and cheese.
When I was younger, I used to like cheese.
Okay, but now that you're older,
I don't like cheese no more.
Over the past year, his mom, Jessica, had been posting Reese's reviews of her New Orleans-style cooking to TikTok.
You did so good. There's no place like home.
And videos like these quickly jumped to millions of views.
Tell me something good about Chipotle.
Oh, they got the right thing.
But it was when Reese tried someone else's cooking a few weeks ago that his life quickly changed.
They got the right thing. This gonna stay on the earth for a long time.
Jessica posted this video of Reese's first time ever eating at the Mexican chain Chipotle, and his critique quickly gathered more than 24 million views. The top comment saying, "He has such an old soul, it's so cute." Well, guess who agreed? Suddenly Jess got an email from a rep at Chipotle, and they wanted to fly them out the next day.
So Chipotle flew me out to California. I ate my bowl. I had a burrito.
Reese, tell me something good about Chipotle.
Oh, they got the right stuff.
Chipotle asked Reese to be in a video on their page, took him on a trip to a theme park, and then offered Reese a role as a burrito ambassador since, you know, he's a big star.
Everybody knew Reese in Hollywood. I just got my award.
In fact, when Reese got home, New Orleans City Council even issued an official proclamation in his honor. After all, he is repping the city's proud culinary tradition to a lot of folks.
The whole entire world see me.
I did ask Reese about his favorite meal at home, and he said it's his mom's lamb chops and shrimp. If you asked me at 6 years old, I would have said mozzarella sticks, some chicken nuggets with the ketchup a la mode, okay? I was just not as fancy as Reese. In New York for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Love it. That meal looked so good. The one that was homemade right there.
Made my heart happy. All right, we've got some light rain for Seguin, Floresville, and Poth. This is all we're going to get from rainfall for Beryl. But tomorrow there is the potential for a few more showers and storms. We'll call it 40% on your Tuesday. Otherwise, only isolated rain through the remainder of the week. Highs will be in the mid-90s. Fairly average for this time of year. We just need more rain.
All right. Well, at least we don't see the triple digits for this week.
And
we get a little
the
cool off.
gusty winds they're dealing with in Houston and Galveston right now.
Yeah, thinking about our neighbors in Houston and Galveston right now. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Sarah.
We'll see you at noon.